Hey y'all, so today I wanted to do a video about just kind of like a backdrop, so to speak, of my previous videos. God told me to leave my husband. So I just wanted to, you know, give just be honest basically and just share with you what the Lord how he told me the part that I played in, you know, uh, my husband and I separating. And so I just thought it would be, disingenuous to not share with you, not to have video, like make it seem like, God told me to leave my husband because he was doing this, that, and the other, or what have you, and not share with you what the Lord has shown me as far as what my part was as well. So that's what this video is. And, as I'm telling you, it's also to encourage you as well to just to not relent on your needs basically, and then to also ask the Lord for it, depending on where you are in your relationship. Ask the Lord for what you need as well, or ask the Lord like what part you're playing or have played and where you are in your relationship as well. So basically, as I said, the Lord told me to leave my husband, but you know, when the Lord told me to leave my husband, as far as separating, that wasn't the first time he told me. Before he told me to leave my husband, he initially told me to leave the house. And so I just wanted to kind of, you know, pick up from the first time basically the Lord told me to leave my house. Um, you know, it in hindsight of, the previous videos of the Lord told me to leave my husband. So basically, basically the first time the Lord told me to leave, um, it was like a Tuesday, right? And this was 2 years ago, or going on 3 years basically now, roundabout. Yes, it was 2 years ago, excuse me. And so I was in the kitchen doing dishes and everything. My children were kind of acting up, so to speak, fussing and fighting with each other and everything. And so I'm like, look, y'all getting on my nerves. Y'all keep it up. I'm gonna make you go to bed early. And so it's about 6 o'clock, right? And so, they weren't trying to hear that. So, and I was like, be quiet. If you say anything else, you're going to bed early. So they was like, they don't, that's it, right? So my husband, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes later or something like that, he comes out and he realizes, oh, y'all kind of quiet. What's up? Mama told y'all to be quiet or what have you. And so they was like, they barely wanted to even answer, right? And so just because of the hostile environment and the contention and, the inhospitableness, all of that, that was the tension that was already in our home and everything, and how um, my husband sometimes would portray me, so to speak, to our children, I pretty much expected, honestly, for him to provoke them to talk and get them to do exactly what I told them not to do, which was to talk, right? And so in my mind, y'all, I'm talking to the Lord. In my heart, I'm talking to the Lord, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Father, if he does that, like I'm grabbing the keys, I'm turning off the faucet, grabbing my keys, and I'm out, right? And so I was expecting him to do that, and he in part kind of did that, but what that thought led to was like, oh, I'm actually going to leave. It put the thought in my head to leave, right? And so I had planned it out, right? So this was like a Tuesday, right? And so I have sister locks, right? I had an appointment on Saturday to get my hair done, right? And so Saturday comes along, I'm planning the whole time. The Lord not telling me, girl, you ain't going away. It's none of that. The Lord is just kind of like, do what you gotta do, right? And so Saturday comes along, and my plan was to go to my appointment, get my hair done, and just not come back, right? Well, lo and behold, y'all, it's a severe thunderstorm going on, right? And my loctician, she has to travel she had to travel to get to where she would do my hair, right? So she messages me. She's like, look, the weather's real bad. I'm not feeling this. Let's reschedule or whatever, right? So that took my plan away of leaving. And so, when I'm out and I leave, that's one thing. But for me to actually leave my home to leave, that was another thing. I'm like, oh, yikes. So I start getting cold feet, right? And the Lord was like, mm-mm. He's like, pack your bags and you're going to leave. And I'm like, you know, I I got cold feet. I got cold feet, y'all. And so my family was already gone. My husband and my children were already gone because they were out at a tournament, right? And they were about an hour and a half away or so. And the Lord was saying, this is the time. You need to use this window that they're gone and that the time it would take for them to travel back home. This is the time you need to leave. And he's telling me, because if you try to leave when they get back, you're going to regret not leaving, because some going to jump off right away and you're going to be like, I should have left. But if you wait to get back and tell your husband you leaving, now you doing it in front of the children, and it's just going to be this drama basically. So he was like, leave now. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm packing my stuff and everything. And mind you, I already said like it was like a severe thunderstorm and everything, right? And so he also told me, he said, you need to leave and you need to go far enough that he can't find you. And so I'm driving, y'all. So I'm driving. I drove about, 2 hours and everything. Terrible weather, all of that. But as I was driving, I'm talking to the Lord, right? And I say to him, Lord, what is it? I'm crying, all this. And I'm like, Lord, tell me what it is. What part did I play? That's what I asked the Lord. What part did I play in where my marriage and where we are right now? And he answers me, right? He says, because you did not fight for yourself. That's what he tells me, y'all. He says, you did not fight for yourself. And I'm thinking like, excuse me, I'm like how? How, show me, Father, where or how I didn't fight for myself, right? And so he shows me, like he takes me back in time, so to speak, and he shows me different instances over the span of our marriage and even our, relationship. Like I said, I've been married almost 20 years. He shows me, like every time I would bring up an issue that I had within our marriage, he showed me where my husband would mock me, he would belittle me, he would dismiss me, right? And he would say, you didn't press. You didn't press through. So basically what would happen is if I would bring something up, my husband would respond to me like, oh, here we go. Or, oh, that again, or whatever. It was just something that would like mock or be dismissive, or so to speak. And so what would happen, this is what the Lord showed me, what would happen is I would get angry about that. And we would start arguing about how he responded to me, as opposed to what, sticking to the issue that I brought up. And so the Lord showed me that you would go down that rabbit hole of this is how you responded to me. And so we would begin to argue about that. And by the time, since we're arguing about that, then I would get to the point where like, just forget it. And so basically my issue was never addressed. And that's what the Lord told me. He said, you did not press. You did not make your needs needful. You didn't press through. You were not relentless about what was important to you. And so that's what he showed me. And in me leaving as well, what he gave me comfort about, y'all, also was that he showed me as a father. In the I don't know I have the particular scripture right now. But the scripture where Jesus says, you being evil know how to give good gifts to your children. The Lord showed me that in me leaving, that was him being a father to me, in protecting me. And he was showing me a natural father. Basically, if he knew that his married daughter was being mistreated by her husband, him and his wife, her parents, the wife's parents, would say, you know what? Just come stay with us for a little bit until it gets better, until y'all work it out a little bit. Just come stay with us if she was being mistreated, right? And so that's what the Lord has shown me. He was saying, I'm bringing you to me, and I am just protecting you while this gets hashed out, so to speak. And so that's what the Lord showed me as far as what my part was in, um, the before, like, he actually told me to separate. That was the first time that he actually told me to leave. And I just wanted to share that, to let you know that I did have a part. I had fault. I had a part in, how our marriage came to be what it was. That it wasn't just like, well, God told me to leave my husband and that's it. No, he showed me this is the part you played. And so I had to receive that. I had to receive it, like, okay. And so really the Lord was, honestly, he was teaching me how to love myself, and how to not allow myself to be dismissed and things like that. So I hadn't been used to that. I hadn't been used to fighting for myself and things like that. And so the Lord has just been honestly teaching me that as a woman, honestly, as a woman. And so it's kind of new to me. And like I said, I just wanted to share that with you. And if you haven't, look up R.C. Blake's Jr. Now I've only come across him recently, within the past few months, and like I said, the first time the Lord told me to leave my home was 2 years ago. However, in coming across R.C. Blake's Jr., what he does is he speaks into women from a biblical standpoint, and he just speaks to the brokenness that we've gone through and heartbreak and all that stuff. And he just he ministers to us in getting us to how the Lord sees us and how we should see ourselves as women. And so like I said, I wanted to just put this message out there to let you know, to give you a backdrop, and just to be genuine and honest about the part that I played in the quote unquote, just kind of like the breakdown, so to speak, of my marriage and things like that. And to also, encourage you to not relent on what you need. If you are, in a Christian relationship, if you are engaged, if you're married, you know in this time now, to encourage you to not relent on what your needs are, to make your needs needful, basically. And then also, to ask the Lord what your part is that you're playing in possibly where you are in your relationship. Like, if your relationship is not going well, so to speak, ask the Lord, Father, what part am I playing in my relationship not being well? Okay, so I pray that this is a blessing to you, again, as usual. And if you like it, then please like, please comment, and even subscribe if you find value in this channel. Again, this is Encouraging the Saints. I'm D Love, and thank you for listening.